It's the Raro Lae show, no. Every time she come around like a cheat code, she always get the show and always get this interview. I cannot get enough of her. I'm watching part two. Everything that's going on lately. She be Raro Lae, it's the Raro Lae show.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Raro Lae, and right now I am live on the red carpet for The Hate U Give. This movie is premiering at a time that is essentially so important in the recent climate of the world with police brutality and racism. Not that this is a new thing, but just because it's really being brought to the forefront and allowing us and reminding us, unfortunately, that it still does exist after years. So check out my interview with the director of the movie, Tillman Jr., as well as Amandla Stenberg and Bobby Session. Make sure you stay tuned and let me know what you think. Hello, my name is Raro Lae, and I am here with the beautiful Amandla Stenberg. Stenberg. Sorry. Okay, I was focused so much on saying the L right that I was like, I knew I messed it up.
You're good. Everyone inserts the I. I'm not sure why, but
I don't know. But how are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited. It's really exciting times.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, with your role in The Hate U Give, you played Star, and I know in a previous interview I actually had heard that basically you were saying it was similar to your background growing up, like going to like a private school, and then also did it stir up anything or like make you remember certain things from your past?
Of course. It stirred up a lot of different feelings. It was also like a huge time of reflection for sure on my past experience, and also was really validating. There are certain scenes that I read in the book and then that were translated to the script that I was like, oh my God, if only I had had this when I was in high school. If only I had had this one phrase. If only I'd had the courage to speak to my white counterpart at school and say, if you don't see my blackness, you don't see me. Which is something that Star says in the movie and in the book. So, it was a time of reflection, but it was also really cool because I got to, in some ways, kind of dramatize those aspects of myself and bring them forward in a way that was authentic to me, but also authentic to Star.
I actually kind of grew up with the similar background. So I went to a private school my whole life, and then I'm from Baltimore inner city. So once I got to school, it was very prim and proper. And then once I got back to the neighborhood, I couldn't talk like that, or they'd be like, hey, white girl, why are you talking like that? So even with that, do you feel like at some times that like hindered you growing up? And I guess you kind of spoke on it already, that you wish there was times that you had spoken up. But is there an exact moment that you remember that you were just like, this is really hard balancing the two?
I mean, I think I had a hard time at school being transparent or candid about the things that I was experiencing at home. Because I couldn't be. But what I was experiencing was often the result of generational trauma, which is what a lot of us experience in being Black. I think there are certain moments that I look back at, like even as a child, I remember being somewhat shy about bringing my sister around my siblings. My sister didn't go to private school. I mean, not my siblings, but my peers. My sister didn't go to private school. My sister went to a school in the inner city, and I loved her to bits, but I noticed that my peers would judge her, you know, and so like I might have been more shy about like being authentic.
Person for Black people, so you didn't want anything to taint like that image kind of.
You feel like this responsibility of being like one of the only Black people in the space and having to like represent your people well. But then also not being fully accepted in your home community or your Black community because of the way you talk, act, speak, whatever. It is really challenging.
Great. First of all, I want to thank you because in the recent climate, this type of movie is exactly what we need to see. And just because with police brutality, racism, and everything that's going on, not that it's new, but it's finally being televised, and a lot more people are becoming aware that it still actually exists in this time and day. But one thing that I definitely want to ask you, I know you had actually spoke about it in a previous interview, that one of the main focuses for the target demographic for watching this movie were the youth. And, you know, a lot of movies target probably like older people just because those are like the paying consumers. But I know with you targeting the youth, I kind of can figure why you would want to do that, but I just want to hear from you why you decided to do that with this strong message.
Yeah, I think with most of the movements that you may find, especially, you know, even during the Civil Rights Movement with the Black Panthers, or if you look at even today's time with the Black Lives Matter, the movement always been young people. And when you look at some of the uprisings or the protests that's going on across the country is a lot of educated African Americans. There's a lot of college students. A lot of them are young individuals, and I felt like they're a lot smarter than we know that we take them to be, and they're very quick and they're very fast. And I wanted to make a film, an intelligent film for them, but a film that they can also, adults can be able to relate to as well.
What has been your most exciting moment in the production and directing of this movie?
I think the time is really when I'm spending with the cast. You know, we were just so close making a movie with our rehearsals and spending time together. We were able to go to Toronto a couple weeks ago for the festival, and I love seeing them because they were there with me every day, pushing through it. So I'm excited to see them again in the next couple weeks and everywhere.
Through your music, you constantly are targeting and just really tackling the whole police brutality, but just different things that are happening in the community and bringing it to awareness of all that are looking into it. What made you decide that that's like the genre you wanted to focus on, or that's like the mission you want to focus on? Because you know, a lot of times people have like the club music and everything, but you're having music with an actual message instead. So what made you decide to stick to that?
I think it's important for the art to reflect the times. We have crazy times right now. I think there's a space for the club music and all that because since the times are so crazy, it's like an escape, but we also need a soundtrack to what's going on, and that's a void I feel like I could fill, for sure.
So being a part of The Hate U Give, how did that make you feel, and what was the biggest moment for you during this whole process?
The biggest moment for me was last night at a screening when I actually heard my song in the movie for the first time last night on the IMAX screen, and it was definitely a big moment for me.
So what can we expect from you in the future?
You can expect me to continue my Revolution series. My first EP on Def Jam Records was called Revolution in the Divided States of America. Revolution is a series of mine where I speak out about the issues going on in our community. The Divided States of America is chapter 1 in that book, and chapter 2 will be coming soon.
Wow, so that's awesome. Real quick, where can your fans reach you? Social media, website?
Bobby Sessions TX on Instagram. Also go to BobbySessionsTX.com to get all updates regarding Bobby Sessions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you as well.
I'm way too fast.